Who the fuck are you guys?
Who the fuck are you? Oh! You give me a fucking gun! Get back here, Mormon!
Don't fuck me, Jack!
Marvin!
Midnight Run, the ultimate buddy action comedy that perfectly balanced thrills and laughs while taking us on an unforgettable cross-country journey. But beyond that incredible chemistry between De Niro and Grodin lies some mind-blowing secrets that'll have you questioning everything you thought you knew about this cinematic gem. Stick around because today we're diving into 10 weird and wild Midnight Run facts that sound completely made up but aren't. And trust us, you don't want to miss the bonus fact at the end. It's a real bounty. Number 1. Sher was almost the Duke. Charles Grodin's iconic performance as accountant Jonathan the Duke Mardukas almost never happened because the role was originally written for a woman. Director Martin Brest initially envisioned Sher as the bail-jumping accountant, creating a romantic tension with De Niro's bounty hunter as they traveled cross-country. The studio was fully on board with this casting, seeing enormous commercial potential in pairing two major stars. Several draft scripts were written with this dynamic, including scenes where the two lead characters ultimately fall in love. When Brest decided the chemistry wasn't working on paper, he completely reconceived the character as male, eliminating the romantic subplot entirely. Grodin was brought in just 3 weeks before filming began, rapidly reimagining the character that would define his career. That perfect antagonistic chemistry between two distinctly different men? It was originally meant to be a romantic adventure with completely different dynamics.
I'm gonna fucking appropriate your head, goddamn! How do you turn this fucking thing off?
Number 2. De Niro's method, intensity. Robert De Niro, famous for his method acting approach, took his preparation for bounty hunter Jack Walsh to extreme levels that shocked even seasoned crew members. De Niro spent 3 months working with actual bounty hunters before filming, accompanying them on real arrests and manhunts. During one particularly dangerous capture, De Niro helped tackle a bail jumper wanted for armed robbery, putting himself in genuine physical danger. He insisted on wearing the same clothes for days during filming to achieve authentic grime and wrinkles, refusing costume changes even when outfits became noticeably ripe on set. Most surprisingly, De Niro actually handcuffed himself to Grodin between takes, sometimes for hours, to better understand the physical awkwardness of being shackled to a prisoner. Grodin later revealed this caused genuine irritation between them that translated perfectly to screen. That authentic bounty hunter grit and growing frustration. It wasn't just acting, it was De Niro living the role so completely that the boundaries between character and actor began to blur. Number 3. The helicopter improv genius. The helicopter scene where Mardukas reveals his paralyzing fear of flying contains some of the film's most memorable moments, and none of them were in the script. Grodin completely improvised his anxiety attack, including the unforgettable chanting and bizarre self-soothing behaviors. De Niro, caught genuinely off guard by Grodin's unexpected performance, delivered natural reactions of increasing frustration. Director Martin Brest was so entertained by the unscripted dynamic that he kept the cameras rolling for over 30 minutes, capturing take after take of Grodin inventing new anxious behaviors, while De Niro's irritation became increasingly authentic. The flight attendant's memorable reactions were also genuine. She was a real helicopter employee, not an actress, responding naturally to Grodin's bizarre behavior. That perfect comedy sequence that has viewers laughing decades later? It was created entirely in the moment, without a single line from the official screenplay. Number 4. The studio almost killed it. Universal Pictures nearly shelved Midnight Run entirely after early test screenings returned concerning results. Audience feedback forms indicated viewers found the film too long and confusing with too much profanity. The studio demanded extensive cuts, including removing most of the 119 F-bombs and trimming the runtime by 40 minutes. Director Martin Brest refused these changes, leading to a standoff that almost saw him removed from the project. The breaking point came when a studio executive suggested dubbing over the profanity with milder language, a proposal Brest called creatively criminal. In a bold move, Brest screened his uncut version for critics without studio approval, generating positive reviews that ultimately saved the film from being butchered or shelved. When the unedited version performed exceptionally well in a final test screening, the studio reluctantly backed down. That perfectly paced, profanity-laden road trip that flows so naturally, it narrowly escaped being chopped into an unrecognizable form by nervous executives. Number 5. The real-life bounty hunter connection. Jack Walsh wasn't just an imaginary character. He was heavily based on a real-life bounty hunter who experienced a remarkably similar situation. Screenwriter George Gallo based the script on his friend, an actual bounty hunter who had once transported an accountant who had embezzled money from the mob. During their journey, the real Walsh and his prisoner were pursued by both FBI agents and mob enforcers, creating the tense dynamic central to the film. The real Walsh even experienced a situation where his prisoner escaped by faking a panic attack, directly inspiring one of the film's most memorable sequences. Gallo included dozens of authentic bounty hunter techniques and procedures based on his friend's experiences, from the initial capture methods to the use of disguises and alternate transportation. That gritty authenticity that grounded the comedy in believable stakes, it came directly from the real-life adventures of a working bounty hunter. Number 6. The abandoned sequel plans. Midnight Run's success immediately sparked plans for an entire trilogy, with contracts drafted for both De Niro and Grodin before the first film even hit theaters. The proposed sequel would have reversed the dynamic, with Grodin's Duke now working as a legitimate accountant who discovers De Niro's Walsh has been framed for a crime, forcing Duke to track down his former captor and clear his name. The third film would have united them as reluctant partners starting a security firm together. A fully completed script for the first sequel received enthusiastic approval from both stars, but the project collapsed when Universal demanded a significantly reduced budget while still expecting both actors to take salary cuts despite the original success. De Niro's asking price had also skyrocketed following Goodfellas, creating an insurmountable financial gap. That perfect standalone film that never suffered from unnecessary sequels? It was originally planned as part 1 of a trilogy that came remarkably close to production. Number 7. The casting musical chairs. The film's perfect casting almost looked dramatically different, with several major stars cycling through the lead roles. Bruce Willis was originally set to play bounty hunter Jack Walsh, but dropped out to film Die Hard instead. A career-defining decision for both Willis and De Niro. Robin Williams was seriously considered for the role of the Duke, getting as far as table reads with De Niro before producers decided his comedic energy overwhelmed the character's needed subtlety. Cher wasn't the only actress considered when the Duke was female. Deborah Winger nearly signed on before the character changed genders. Perhaps most surprisingly, Joe Pesci was cast as mobster Jimmy Serrano before being replaced by Dennis Farina just days before his scenes were to be filmed, partially because producers worried about Pesci and De Niro's Goodfellas connection confusing audiences. That perfect casting chemistry that feels irreplaceable? It came after a dizzying carousel of major stars who could have created an entirely different film. Number 8. The train sequence terror. The thrilling train sequence where Walsh and the Duke leap from a moving train into a raging river stands as one of the film's most memorable action moments, and it nearly killed both stars. Despite the studio's insistence on using stunt doubles, De Niro demanded he and Grodin perform the dangerous jump themselves. The production built special breakaway handcuffs that could be quickly released in case of emergency. But they failed during the first take, leaving both actors genuinely handcuffed as they hit the water. De Niro and Grodin were swept nearly a quarter-mile downstream before crew members in boats could reach them. The panic on their faces during the scene is completely authentic. Both actors were legitimately terrified. After this near disaster, director Martin Brest secretly used stunt doubles for the remaining water shots without telling De Niro, who remained adamant about doing his own stunts. That adrenaline-pumping sequence that feels so viscerally real? It captured a moment of genuine danger that production members still consider the closest call of their careers. Number 9. The Musical Identity Crisis. The film's original score was fully composed and recorded by Elmer Bernstein, the legendary composer behind classics like The Magnificent Seven and To Kill a Mockingbird. After test audiences gave mixed feedback about the music, director Martin Brest made the unprecedented decision to scrap Bernstein's entire score after it was completed and paid for. A Hollywood taboo that risked his professional reputation. Brest hired Danny Elfman to create a completely new score with just weeks remaining before release, giving the composer almost no time to understand the film and develop themes. Elfman worked around the clock, completing what normally would be months of composition in just 19 days. This last-minute musical overhaul cost the studio over $300,000 in wasted recording costs and rush fees. Bernstein's discarded score, which took a more dramatic approach to the material, has never been released despite collector interest. That perfectly balanced musical identity that seamlessly transitions between comedy and tension, it was a Hail Mary replacement created under nearly impossible deadline pressure. Number 10. The dangerous filming conditions. The production's cross-country shooting schedule subjected the cast and crew to genuinely hazardous conditions that went far beyond normal filmmaking challenges. While filming in the Arizona desert, temperatures reached 118 degrees, causing multiple crew members to suffer heat stroke and requiring on-set medical intervention. During the Midwest sequences, unexpected tornadic activity forced the entire production to shelter in place for nearly 38 hours, causing costly delays. Most dangerously, the climactic airport sequence was filmed during an actual blizzard in Michigan that shut down regular airport operations and stranded the film crew for 5 days. Rather than wait out the storm, director Martin Brest decided to incorporate the severe weather into the scene, sending De Niro and Grodin into genuinely hazardous conditions where visibility was reduced to mere feet. The physical exhaustion visible in both actors during the film's final act wasn't just skilled performance. It reflected their genuine fatigue from battling extreme elements across multiple states. That authentic, travel-weary appearance that makes their journey feel so real? It came from a production that deliberately embraced geographical challenges instead of resorting to comfortable studio shooting. Bonus fact: the improv that changed Hollywood Midnight Run forever changed how major studios approach comedy filmmaking by proving the commercial viability of improvised dialogue in big-budget productions. Prior to this film, improvisation was largely limited to low-budget comedies or specific short scenes in mainstream films. Director Martin Brest made the controversial decision to encourage extensive improvisation throughout the entire production, often filming up to 20 takes of scenes with varying dialogue. This approach was so unusual that Universal executives repeatedly demanded Brest stick to the script, concerned about the film's ballooning shooting schedule. The most quoted lines in the film, including "I'm Mosley" and "Sydney, Sydney, Sydney," were entirely improvised by Grodin and De Niro. The success of this approach led directly to major studios embracing improvisation in subsequent action comedies, influencing everything from Lethal Weapon sequels to modern classics like Rush Hour. That natural, conversational flow that makes Midnight Run feel so authentic compared to other action comedies of its era, it pioneered an improvisational approach that transformed how Hollywood approaches genre filmmaking. And there you have it. Bizarre, authentic, and totally fascinating facts about Midnight Run that even die-hard fans might have missed. If you enjoyed this cinematic journey, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and remember, as Jack Walsh would say, this relationship is over. This relationship is over, pal. We'll see you next time for more movie secrets that are stranger than fiction.